what I need is some water. That's what I really need. I drank all my water. I didn't get all my water. That's what I really need. Oh well, it is what it is. We're gonna go in here dry. We'll go in here dry today. No problem. I think I need to also put on the screen here. Okay, let's see. We can keep talking about this today. We are going to go ahead and start this session. I've been trying to talk to you guys this for the past couple days, but things kept coming up. And we've had a few ceremonies. We're getting ready to finish the summer retreat program, 3-month summer retreat program. So because the summer retreat program, we're really busy going to do all these type of functions. Today, I'm trying something different. I'm trying to turn the camera the opposite way. See if I can get some more followers to interact with me online. So today's topic is, I think it's pretty important because a lot of us, we don't realize the stress that our body is giving us to let us know that it's time for us to use self-care. It is time for us to use techniques of self-care to get ourselves into the mindset of liberation, the mindset of meditation. So let's get into that. Okay. First and foremost, Namo Bang Sir Tika Moni Fat, Namo Bang Sir Tika Moni Fat, Namo Bang Sir Tika Moni Fat. Buddhang Saranang Kachami, Dhammam Saranam Kachami, Sanghang Saranang Kachami, Tutiyampi Tatiyampi. Buddhang Saranang Kachami, Dhammam Saranang Kachami, Sanghang Saranang Kachami. Some Atmamotaniya, Satu, 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 Satu. Amitabha, Amitabha, Amitabha. For those of you guys who are online and don't know much about me, my name is Bhante Panya, or you can call me Ji Hui. And I've been a Buddhist monk for about 10 years, living in Southeast Asia. At the current moment, I live in Vietnam. I've lived in Cambodia, Thailand, Taiwan, and traveled throughout Asia. And I've been practicing Buddhism and the art of Buddhism, the art and practice of meditation and monastic life for some time. And thank you guys for actually coming and joining today's lecture and being interactive. Please ask as many questions as I can. If I can get to the screen to type and talk to you, I will. And I appreciate that. So today's lecture, I think, is pretty important because a lot of us who are on the path of wholesome living, skillful living, and want to have a more wholesome life or tranquil or quality centered life. The information that is being said at the current moment It's really important. And the first part about that is what? Um, about self-care, vanity, and the middle way. Okay, self-care, vanity, and the middle way. Um, the body often kind of whispers before it starts to scream. You know what I'm saying? When you start to feel pain in your shoulders, heaviness on your back, or you're starting to feel a lot of, you're always cracking your neck all the time and pain in your lower back. This is the kind of way that your body is telling you it needs some time to recalibrate. It needs some space to its own. It needs some quiet time just to kind of recalibrate. It needs some rest and relaxation. TLC, tender loving care to yourself. But when you keep pushing, working, serving, and worrying over the mind, and it just buries these things and makes the problems even more. We know that a lot of problems we have in our life with heart problems is because of overthinking. A lot of it is because of overthinking and anger and outbursts, but it never just starts like that. You just don't wake up and start screaming and outburst. Things, they kind of add up, but because you keep neglecting them, they turn into a huge ball of problems later on. Okay, so for example, you might notice things like persistent tiredness. You're always tired, difficulty, difficulty relaxing, irritability, headaches, muscle tension, like we just said, difficulty concentrating, feeling mentally scattered, being withdrawn from people, just not being able to stay engaged in conversation, sleeping at weird times, or not being able to sleep at all, waking up at random times, and just not having a full amount of good rest. You need to really think about how that really feels good, like good rest, where you feel like, oh, I'm rested, I feel great, I feel replenished. You wake up with energy. You don't wake up tired. A lot of us are actually out there waking up tired. Waking up feeling like you didn't sleep at all. Your back is aching. Your body's full of... This is a sign that your body is telling you you need some self-care time to reflect on you and get your body recorrected, reprogrammed back and centered. Gaining pounds of weight. Water, a lot of it is just water retention. Gaining lots of weight, influx of the diet, up and down, up and down, up and down. Losing enjoyment for your daily tasks that you usually do. You have hobbies and skills that you do, and you just lose the whole plot. I like to be a painter. I can't paint. I'm going through what they call writer's block. I like to write books. I have no thoughts coming inside my mind to help me write a book. I like to skate. So every time I try to go out and skate, I just keep messing up all of the tricks that I'm trying to do. etc. You spoil the meals that you cook. All of these things are talking about you need time to clean your mind out. Your mind has too much clutter. Your mind is going through way too much clutter. Okay? So these aren't necessarily proof of particular medical conditions. So I'm not saying that you're medically sick. It's just saying that these are signs worth paying attention to, especially when they start to appear together, or several appear together, or they keep persisting. And this is where we can talk about something called sati. Sati in Pali language means mindfulness. The Buddha always practiced sati, mindfulness, just not mindful being aware, but being aware of the present moment and being aware of things that are going on within himself, within his surroundings. Not just within himself, but being aware of his surroundings. A lot of us, I think that we do have sati, we do have mindfulness, but not at a full scale of mindfulness of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? We might know what's going on with our surroundings. I got to go to work here. My baby's crying. My wife or my husband my mom, my dad, I got to go here at this time. But we don't realize the pressure that is going on inside of our body and our mind for taking on all of these responsibilities. We have all these responsibilities that we're supposed to be taking care of, taking a part of, or dissecting or being involved in, and they're adding too much stress to our lives. And a lot of that is because of the fact that we take on these responsibilities without thinking about the outcome of always being available, but never being available for ourselves. We're always available to others, but we're never available to ourselves. Why is that? And is that appropriate? Do you think this is appropriate for us to be surviving as people of spiritual value, people of spiritual restraint? Okay, the Buddha certainly taught impermanence. And because the Buddha taught impermanence, he's trying to tell you that you don't always have time to sit there and blow down your own boundaries just for somebody else. Because as soon as you get rid of your boundaries, as soon as you push your wall of boundary down, guess what? They're going to keep on doing it until you have no boundaries left. And that's what we don't really want. You know, you have to stay, it's hard. You have to try to stay true to yourself in a world that's constantly changing and constantly constantly checking the pressure and strength of the boundaries of your willpower. Always testing you all the time. It's tough, you know. Mindfulness also means noticing what happens before the situation becomes a crisis. Mindfulness means knowing what's going on around you and inside of you before it turns into a huge crisis where you're blowing up at people that you don't usually blow up at. You're fighting and arguing with people who cause you love and harmony. You got to be careful of that. You got to be careful of that inside your mind, inside your heart. You know, this is a very important teaching. Now, remember, the Buddha didn't teach us to hate the body, breaking your legs, you know, sleeping on a bed of nails. The Buddha didn't teach us to hate the body in that respect. Okay, the Buddha didn't teach us to abuse the body. He actually taught the opposite. He said, because a lot of ascetics or spiritual people, they abuse the body and they let the mind to roam free to do whatever it wants. You're supposed to scrutinize the mind to see where it's coming from. These thoughts are coming from before the body. That's the thing. The Buddha stopped doing austerities, almost putting himself to death by not eating. It's like that doesn't do anything for the mind. If the mind is crazy, then the body is also doing crazy as well. Okay, so the Buddha organized the body. The Buddha, the way that he recognized the body, it was like a vehicle, okay, through which practice occurs. The Buddha said in the Dhammapada that you are your own self-refuge, okay? And that's real. I say this every lecture that I give. I tell everybody, because what the Buddha said, that you are your own refuge. That means you have to check yourself. You have to go through and see what's going on through the mind, the nose, the cavities, all your body, and kind of find out what's going on, what's making things tick in, what's making things rise, influx, and deflate, and get, you know, and go back to normal. That's your responsibility. It's nobody else's. We have to realize that the body isn't our permanent identity. The body isn't something to worship. You don't worship the body. The body is always changing, does what it wants. Right now I have gas. I have to burp. I can't even control that. I can't even control my heart from beating or stop beating. So we know the body's not something to be designed to worship. But neither is it something to despise either. You don't despise it. It's got acid, it's got fecal matter, it's got urine, it's got blood, it's got pus, but you don't despise it. These things are natural. These things are something that you need to have the body function and develop the way, or use the body in a way so you can actually function. Even though it's filled with a lot of things which are pretty putrid. Okay, it's something to be, it's something entrusted to us as a temporary vehicle. So use it and take care of it. It's a temporary vehicle. Use it and take care of it. It's like somebody giving you a car. Somebody give you a car, it doesn't mean don't wash it. You don't vacuum the car. It means you don't just throw junk inside the car and leave it. Some of you are like that. I'm not. Somebody give me something, a vehicle, a vessel, a car, a bike, a room, a place to stay, then you take care of it. You keep it clean the best you can. If it is looking dirty, clean it. Now, going back to the, not to take us straight off of the topic, the topic about self-care is really important. Now, once you start to notice that there's starting to be some problems in the mind and the body, okay, when you start to realize there's problems in the mind and the body, how you respond and react to certain things, and they start to add up, you start to think to yourself, I need to do something that is going to get me back on track. And it has to be empty of someone else's participation, because you're your own refuge, you're your own safety boat. The Buddha's way, he used to meditate. He used to do walking meditation. He didn't eat a lot. Those are some of the major 3 things that he did to keep his mind safe and clear, keep his brain functioning clear. He didn't overeat. He wasn't an overeater. You know what happens when you overeat? You overeat, brain function stops happening. You can't think as much. You get what they call it, they get the itis. You get the itis, brain rot starts to happen. Okay? Another thing that happens is when you start to overeat, you start to feel heavy. And when you start to feel heavy, you're overeating, all you want to do is sleep. And what happens when you sleep? Then you get acid reflux. Now you can't sleep. So it starts to, do you understand? It starts to snowball. Never listen to your indulgences, because your indulgences are there to actually cripple your work. So try to make yourself a pattern when you eat. It's not about indulgence. It's not about overeating. You're eating to save you to practice, to get you in the right state of mind. Another thing, the Buddha walked meditation and he sat in meditation. But I would like to actually think about that before he was enlightened. I haven't really found anything at the moment what he did before he was enlightened, except for a lot of austere practices. But they say austere practices, but I want to know deeper about what kind of things he used to do to prepare himself for meditation. Maybe he did yoga. Maybe he was a yogi. They said he was a person who, did a lot of these austerities. He probably was a yogi. And that's not a bad thing either. That's definitely that's not a bad thing. So for some of us out there, we do a lot of things pre-meditation, pre-walking meditation. Some of us, we garden, calm our minds down. We go for walks in nature. We might listen to the water that is being that is flowing through the rivers or waterfalls or nature. We might listen to birds. We might listen to calming music that centers us a little bit. These things are good, man. I'm going to tell you they're good. Why are they good? Because it's better than chaos. It is better than chaos. Some people say, oh, well, these are the these are the cravings, and you're feeding your desires. And you're feeding your desires, and maybe you shouldn't be doing this because of you're playing with the emotion. Look, man, it is better that you listen to calming music, ambient sounds, the sounds of nature, maybe some piano or something like that, than getting ready to beat up the barista because she messed up your order. Getting ready to fight the clerk at a fast food chain because they gave you the wrong thing. Getting ready to scream at your little sister, your mother, or your dad because they ask you a question. I'd rather you listen to some music and sit down. Okay, so that's a lot better. Okay, especially if you haven't developed a situation of meditation. And look, man, a lot of us monks and nuns, people who are familiar with the monastery, don't think because you have previously set up a situation where you meditate all the time that it's just going to stay that way. Some of these brain fogs and situations occur where it disturbs your meditation practice. It actually disturbs your meditation session. Nothing is stable. You're going to ceremonies, you're going to meetings, you have to go here, you have to do things, you know what I'm saying? So you don't sometimes have a set situation every day where it just doesn't change. And this build up happens. So you need to calm down. There's things that I do. And it doesn't mean that you should do them, but you need to think about you being mindful of your surroundings and yourself. When I notice I start to have a lot of tension, what I like to do, okay, take a hot shower. Turn off the lights. Light a candle, have dim light. Aromatherapy. Soap, a lot of good soaps. If you can afford that, organic or whatever. Get your aromatic soap. Good lather. Take a nice bath. And visualize all the impurities coming out of your body when the water hits you to the top of your head all the way down to your feet. And take deep breaths throughout the whole thing. And keep your mind focused on impurities leaving the body, aromatherapy, and being in a beautiful place. If not inside the forest, being in nature, being somewhere where you're being cleansed from the top to the bottom. After that, put some oil on your skin, lotion, shea butter, whatever you use. Put some good stuff on your skin. Put your lotion on some skin. You need to take care of yourself. And this is all preparation before you meditate. Put on your favorite garment. Put on your most favorite garment, something that makes you feel beautiful for you. All right? Get yourself some water, some tea, light your incense, pay homage to the Buddha, pay homage to the God that you worship, pay homage to a guru, a saint, whatever it is. Sit down. Maybe you even want to play a little bit of ambient music and sit down before you meditate and start to list the things that you're grateful for and just relax in that moment. So what I basically described for you, self-care is prepare yourself just like you are preparing yourself to go on a specific date. Prepare yourself just like you're going on the best date of your life. You know how much effort we put towards ooh, bless you, oh my goodness. Do you know how much effort we put towards preparing or being worthy and acceptable for another person, our jobs, our bosses, our girlfriends, or your significant other, somebody you're trying to impress? How much effort you put on your best perfumes, you wear your best outfit, you want to spend all this money, you want to take them to Paris, you want to take them to France, you want to take them to Botswana, you want to take them to Kenya, you want to take them to Ghana. But when it comes to you and preparing a space for yourself, you can't even get out of your gym sweatpants. You don't even want to take a shower. You do the least amount of effort to attract yourself to your sanctuary. No way, buddy. No, man. No, that's not the way you do it. When you start to realize that the world is on your shoulders and you need to get it off, that is the time you need to take some self-care and take yourself on a spiritual date. You need to get away from everybody. And it doesn't just mean 1 hour or 2 hours. If you have the ability to, for a full day, dedicate that full day just for your self-care. Turn off your phone. Take yourself on a walk in the park, a natural park. Take yourself in a park, smell the air, get some trees in there. I know some of you got some allergies. I know that's the truth. But even if you do have some allergies, smell some fresh air, smell the roses, the flowers, or whatever you got. Listen to the water, get your best garment you smell, and prepare yourself for meditation. Prepare yourself for the day. Be kind to you just like you were being kind to someone else outside of yourself. I know it's a weird thing to say, but this is what is needed. This is not vanity. There's a difference between self-care and vanity. Vanity is doing it for the others. That's what you do every day. Subtle forms of vanity is what you do every day. I got to impress my boss. I got to impress my teacher. I got to impress my girlfriend. I got to impress my boyfriends. Or I got to impress my master. Those are subtle forms of vanity. We don't want to deal with that. We want to do with self-care. We want to do the opposite of that. I got to take care of me first. I got to take care of what's going on here. We don't want to perform. We're tired of performing. The performance is what's making you sick. Vanity, that performance is what's making you sick internally because you can't just be yourself. And the self that you're providing as a service to other is not getting the response that you're looking for because you have neglected you. You've neglected yourself. Gardening is a good way too. These are things that you can be using. These are grounding techniques. Walking barefoot. Gardening is a good way to get your hands in the soil. Don't touch cat poop, please. Don't be touching everything. Some things in the dirt that's dirty. We say touch the dirt, but don't be dirty. You know, there's a difference. But anyway. Get your hands in the dirt. Okay. I love my plants. I love my plants to death. I talk to my plants. I share things with my plants because they are a living organism. They are a sentient being, and I talk to them a lot of the time, especially this one over here. You can't see it, but it's a really big one. My favorite plant. I like to walk barefoot. It feels so good for me to walk barefoot. Why? I just feel like it calms me down. I don't know why. I've been doing it for years, and it really calms me down. Walking in the park barefoot. It makes your feet strong, and I just like to feel the ground underneath my foot. A lot of people use yoga. I think yoga is fantastic. Just to stretch the body out. That's where a lot of this pains are coming from. A lot of these issues are actually because we don't know how to stretch the body. We need to stretch the body out. We're just so stiff, especially monks and nuns. If you're into austere practices, a lot of us sleep right on the floor. We have a mat, we sleep on the floor. Little mat, we sleep flat on the floor with a pillow. Bodies are stiff. We need to learn how to do some asanas. Learn how to do some more downward dogs. Stretch your back out. And you start to realize how stretching and breathing actually go together. The more that you breathe properly, the longer and deeper you can get into your stretches. And when your body feels loosened up, then it starts to loosen up some of that pain. There's a feeling of release. And that's what you're looking for. Now, let's see here. Now I want to talk about vanity and why vanity is not a good look for the practitioner of mindfulness. Okay, now we want to take a little bit of turn. What really is the signs or symbols of vanity? Um, Self-care and vanity can look almost identical from the outside. Okay. Two people may both go to yoga. Two people may both meditate. They both dress beautifully. They both take care of their bodies. They're both drinking expensive tea or whatever, expensive sodas or teas or coffee or whatever. You can't necessarily tell them apart. You can't tell the difference. But the difference is the intention. What is the intention behind doing this? Why am I doing this? For what reason? Why am I dressing in a certain way? Why am I behaving a certain way? Why am I responding in a certain way? What am I doing that is different from the other? These are a lot of the things that are popping up inside, and they depend on your intention. They really do. A spiritual vanity is particularly really sneaky. Okay, ordinary vanity says something like, "Okay, look how beautiful I am." Spiritual vanity is a little more subtle. It says, "Look how detached I am. Look how detached I am. Look how austere I can live my life. Look at my clothing. That's ordinary vanity. Look at my clothing." Or another one says, "I don't need clothes that look like that," or "I don't need clothes like that. I'm beyond material things." This is also two forms of vanity. And the Buddha himself also truly spoke about two forms of attachment. The Buddha talked about two forms of attachment. One of the attachment is not needing things when they're abundant and wanting things when they are scarce. These are two forms of clinging. These are two forms of clinging. Not accepting or wanting things when they're abundant, clearly abundant, and then clinging after something that is not there, it's scarce, it's hard to get. And this is something that plays around inside the practitioner's mind. It is not from good spirituality. It is from ill view. It is vanity in disguise. Ordinary vanity also can look like, look how much money I have, where spiritual vanity says, look how little I need. I don't need anything. I don't need any money. Yes, you do. Everybody does. Okay, everybody does. Being proud of yourself, okay, being overly proud of yourself for having less, or overly proud of yourself for having more. Being proud of luxury or being proud of austerities. And neglect can also become ego. Neglecting things, pushing things away can become ego. You've seen them all the time. Some people walking around out there look like they'll never brush their teeth. I've seen it in the spiritual sense. You walk around, people look like they never brush their teeth. They've never brushed their hair. They don't wash their clothes. They don't put a deodorant on their armpit. They stink. I got these monks walking around here. A lot of these monks walking around, they don't put no deodorant on, and their body odor stinks. Happened to me a lot of time. Happened to me. I was in Taiwan. And the monk was upset because I washed my clothes with soap. They got mad. They got irritated because I washed my clothes with laundry detergent that smelled like flowers. It wasn't like a huge scent that just flew through the whole entire temple. It's laundry detergent, normal laundry soap. They know about it. It's not like they just came out the mountains and just discovered laundry detergent that smells like flowers or smells like, lemons. They knew what it was. They haven't been monks their whole entire life. They know. But one day I washed my clothes and with scent with laundry detergent. And then I had to take a trip outside the country for a week. And I came back and the monk pulled me to the side. It was like, you know what? I want to talk about something. When you wash your clothes, there's, there's this scent. Like, what do you mean? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah, there's a scent. I don't know. I never heard that before. There's a smell. You should try to wash your clothes without laundry detergent, without the smell. So I was gone for a whole week. And this guy, through his whole week, he couldn't practice his life because the only thing he was waiting to do was wait for me to come back to Taiwan just so he could tell me about laundry detergent, the scent of laundry detergent. And I thought that was the most pettiest thing on the earth to sit there and worry about. You worried about laundry detergent for a whole week. And I wasn't even in the country. I wasn't even there. I thought that was the most pettiest thing in the world. I mean, I thought that was more egocentric, like you're trying to put yourself on top of me, or trying to, you're trying to, what do you call that? You're trying to posture yourself on the top of me more than anything else. I mean, God forbid the man walks through a garden. So I found a lot of people that are claiming to be spiritualists. They're not. They're just egocentric. I mean, they don't want to. You're not allowed. I remember this lady one day. She wasn't even a nun. She's like, "Oh, you shouldn't be wearing deodorant." I'm not going to go around representing the Dharma as a tall, funky, dirty-smelling man just so I can fit your capsule to fit your idea of what you think the Dharma is. I'm not going to do that for you. The Dharma to me is beautiful. It saved me from destruction. It is a beautiful scent. It is a breath of fresh air. It is a fragrance that attracted me to the Dharma. Not dirty. It's not funky. It is not disgusting. It is not the Dharma didn't attract me because I saw a monk who had dirty rat and he didn't even want to cut his toenails. Don't permit. I do not accept that form of the Dharma. I'm sorry. And if somebody came to me looking like stinking like a homeless person with their nails all long and didn't even brush their teeth and wanted to tell me the most beautiful things about the Buddha, is really going to be hard for me to actually look at him and look at him as creditable. You mean to tell me the Buddha made us look like that? No, I'm sorry, man. Don't represent the Buddha like that. Like he was just a funky, dirty person, stinking. He couldn't take time to wash himself. That's a really terrible way to describe the Buddha, and I will never accept that way. If you don't want to wear deodorant, that's fine. Just don't stay around me. I think that stinks. I think that's gross. It's you have two forms of smell. Okay? Repulsive, well, actually three: repulsive, negative, or you have attracting, non-attracting, or just neutral. Your body is going to give off a smell regardless. Your body is going to give off a smell regardless. You're going to start to smell bad regardless, even if you do wear deodorant or not. It runs out. But if you have the ability without attachment to smell better. You're attracting people to the Dharma. This isn't about you. Some people say, well, I don't have a stink or smell. Somebody's smelling it. Somebody smells you. Smell good if you're able to. It's not like you're living in the jungle. When I lived in the jungles of Cambodia, I didn't need to wear deodorant. Nobody was there. Nobody was around me. When I lived in the jungles of Thailand, I didn't need to use deodorant. For what? I was in the jungle. There's nobody there around me to offend. But when I moved to the city, I had to think about that. You're around a lot of people. A lot of people get offended by that. Time and place for everything. So pick your battles, man. But just be careful around people who have these attachments to these ideas and concepts. Be careful. Vanity isn't only saying, look how beautiful I am, look how pretty I am. It's also saying, look at how little I need. Look how little I need. Look how many clothes, articles of clothing that I don't have. Look how much I don't eat. The Buddha is the middle way, and this is not a problem. We like the fact that the Buddha is the middle way between extremes. Okay? Indulgences in sensual pleasure and self-mortification or excessive affliction of oneself. The middle way avoids both. The Buddha avoided both ways. So your equation could be indulgence in self-care, neglect and renunciation, self-care and vanity, aesthetic care and ego. But the determining factor between them is your intention. Intention is your determining factor between them. That's the truth. A question you can ask yourself when you're doing some of these things, the evaluations with inside the mind, are asking yourself, do these things restore me or merely just stimulate me? Do they restore my balance or they just kind of satisfy me for the moment? Number two, you can say, would I be doing these things if nobody knew about them? Is this something I would continually do if nobody knew that I was doing them? This is the way to check your intention as well. Good test for vanity. Does this increase my freedom or my dependence? Does this decrease my dependence or does it make me closer to liberation of self? Is this a practice I can continue to do or is it a practice that makes me dependent and clinging to people, places, or things or objects? Does this make me more subtle? Does this make me more capable of helping other people? Does this practice, this preparation, make me in a way that I am able to help other people? Help my mind calm down so I can help other people. Self-care can also be a factor of compassion for yourself so you can be compassionate to other people. If you ain't right, you're not going to be able to help someone else get right. You got to get yourself some act right before you actually see people be right themselves. You got to get your own act right. You got to get yourself centered before you tell somebody to be in the middle. And that's really important. I think that self-care is not bad. People think that taking care of themselves is being selfish. You're not being selfish. You're being selfless. All right, man. I think I'm getting ready to go get some water. And I got a big stack of clothes I got to wash. I got to get out of here. And thank you, everybody, all three people, two people online, for listening to this sideways message. And I'll catch you guys later, man. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for saying hi and stopping in. And if there's anything I said that goes against the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, or the Bodhisattva, if anything that I said goes against that, please drop everything I said and go to the texts of the scholars, the meditation masters, and the scriptures for your clear evidence of what you should be doing with your life. I can only speak from my experience as a Buddhist monk, and I just tell you through my experiences that I have and what I've dealt with them to overcome them. So with that being said, may you have a beautiful day full of clarity. May you not live in vengeance, but liberation, self-care, freedom from vanity, and a place where you can return to, which is yourself, and peace, blessings, love, and light. Amitofo, 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 Amitofo.